Hello, Easy Nation! We are halfway done with 2026. You know what that means? It's time to break down my favorite movies of the year so far. This year's been weird for me because I didn't really start the year strong. I feel like I've watched a lot of movies since May, since summer movie season's hit. I have seen 18 movies of 2026 so far. So, it's time for me to break down my favorite films of the... I have not seen everything. The one movie I missed that might have made my top 10 was Toy Story 5, which it might not have because I really didn't like Toy Story 4 that much, and I've also heard it's not as good as the original 3 Toy Stories, which doesn't really surprise me. But I will watch that in July, but it will not count for my top 10 movies of the year so far. So guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching this top 10 of the movies of the year so far. My number 10 is The Drama. The Drama was a film with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. They're basically getting married. She reveals this news that kind of rocks his world, and he's like, do I really still want to marry this crazy chick, or do I not? And this was a very interesting A24 film. I thought Robert Pattinson was great. Also thought Zendaya was really good in the film as well. And just like, would you still marry someone who was like, yeah, I used to burn kids alive or something crazy like that? Would you still be with the person you were not? The answer is no. You should not be with that person. But the movie makes you think you have to come up with your own stuff at the end towards the movie. My number 9 is Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu. Is this the perfect Star Wars film? No. Is it as bad as people say it is? No. Is it fun? Yes. I think the movie does a lot of good stuff. I think the first half of the movie is really good. I think the movie slows down after the second half of the film. I think it is pretty good. I would watch another Mandalorian Grogu. I don't think we'll ever get that because the box office has not been that great. But if they want to return Mandalorian back to TV, I would totally watch that. So, but yeah, I personally enjoyed the film. I'm definitely going to buy it all 4K when it comes out. My number 8 is Jack Ryan Shadow War. I really liked the Jack Ryan TV show, and I thought a movie follow-up to the TV show was really interesting. Also bringing him back into the CIA and stuff, and Greer being the director of the CIA. I thought that was kind of stuff was very interesting. Also, I really liked the story of the season of this movie. It's funny that I have the 2 TV movies back to back, even though Jack Ryan didn't come out in movie theaters. Like I said, I think if you like the Jack Ryan TV show, you'll like the Jack Ryan movie. And like I said, that's just where I put it on my list. My number 7 is The Devil Wears Prada 2. I really like The Devil Wears Prada 2. I never saw the first one until right before I saw the second one, and I have to say I enjoy it. I think the characters are pretty good. I liked where all the characters are after being such a big time jump. Meryl Streep is still a boss in this movie as her journey rides, and also like how Anne Hathaway was able to build her character up and was able to stand toe to toe with Streep, and also Stanley Tucci once again is great. Also Emily Blunt, pretty good in this film. So overall, Devil Wears Prada 2 was very good, very worthy on this list. My number 6 is Sin Help. Sin Help was the first movie of the year I saw. It was a very interesting film. Basically, it was Castaway. These 2 people end up on an island. They don't like each other. Rachel McAdams is trying to keep her boss alive. There's a pretty good twist in this film. If you've not seen it, I do not want to spoil it because it is pretty good. And I just I like all the survival aspects of this film. I thought that made the movie very interesting and very enjoyable. So yeah, I think Sin Help's very good. Highly recommend you check it out. At number 5, I'll go with Disclosure Day. This is probably one of the last few films I've seen. I really like Disclosure Day. I like the Steven Spielberg, kind of go back to the roots of the E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind sense of his movies. I also I thought just kind of how you're watching the movie and information is hitting you, and then all the different stuff, and then at the ending I thought that was very interesting. I thought the twist of the movie was really good. Like I said, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's a smart man sci-fi. That's not everyone's cup of tea. That's my cup of tea. I actually love it was very interesting just to see how Spielberg was able to return back to his original Close Encounters form. My number 4 is Radar 2, Here I Come. Not my favorite movie ever, and be honest with you, I'll be shocked if 8 of my top 10 movies are are that make my final list at the end of the year. I guess it just depends on how strong the films are at the end of this movie season. But there's a lot of good movies coming out there in the year. I'll get to at the end of the video. But this was a fun sequel. I really liked the first one. I think the first one's a lot better than the second one. I think the action is really interesting in this film. I like how it kind of goes even. We go to like a bigger mansion. You bring her sister into it, who is Catherine Newton, who I really like her. But I just thought their back and forth between the two were really enjoyable. So yeah, I thought Ready or Not 2 was a really good sequel, and the ending was just crazy. My number 3 is Pressure. This is there's like 3 movies on this list that I think are really good. The rest are just okay. Pressure is a World War II film about the plannings of the Battle of D-Day. Will the weather hold? Because it was a naval invasion, the biggest invasion in human history. Will we be able to land our troops? Will they be safe? Will we be able to get onto the beaches in order to take Normandy from the Nazi for Nazi Germany in order to begin our European invasion for the Allied forces? And that was very interesting. I thought Brendan Fraser was incredible as Dwight Eisenhower. I thought he captured the character really good, and if they wanted to bring Brendan Fraser back to do like an Eisenhower biopic film, I think he would be a very interesting, or do like his presidency stuff. I think that would be kind of interesting. Also, Andrew Scott was great as the meteorologist who's trying to determine the weather, and you have his assistant who's trying to look at the history of weather. It's like weather doesn't repeat itself. You have to look at the variables, and I thought it was a very interesting, something I wouldn't think about a movie for a D-Day movie but yeah, absolutely great. This I think would be a pretty cool companion piece to Saving Private Ryan. My number 2 is Power Ballad. Power Ballad was the new John Carney film starring Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas. Basically, yeah, Paul Rudd, he's a wedding singer. He is in his wedding band. Him and Nick Jonas are they're at the end of the night, they're just kind of talking about music, playing some music. Paul Rudd plays one of his songs, and then a year later, or 6 months later, Nick Jonas has stolen his song. The song's very catchy, just like most of all John Carney films. He always has a song in there, and it's always pretty good. And I really like seeing like Paul Rudd. He's like, I didn't make this up. I wrote this song. I have no truth to it, but it just made for such an interesting film. And like I said, I love John Carney films. Sing Street, Begin Again, the one that came out a couple of years ago on Apple. I can't remember what it was called. Floor and Son. All those movies are great, and I think this is another good addition to his filmography. And my number 1 movie of the year so far is Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary is perfect sci-fi. Ryan Gosling played this comedic astronaut who's trying to make sense of like why is he here. As he's getting his memory back, he builds this really great personal relationship with Rocky, and then they're trying to save, but not just his world, but his new friend's world, and just all the science stuff. The movie's directed great, and I really like. And like I said, Ryan Gosling's great in this film. So overall, Project Hail Mary, worthy. Project Hail Mary, favorite movie of the year so far. I will be shocked if it's not in my top 10 at the end of the year. So guys, what is your favorite movie of the year so far? Where it is, comment below, let me know. And there's so many more movies coming out this year that I'm looking forward to. New Spider-Man movie, Oppenheimer, Dune, Messiah. So many good films. I'm looking forward to checking it out, and I'll be here checking it out the rest of the year on the 2026 Starfeezy YouTube channel. So guys, if you like the video, click that thumbs up, subscribe, and more, tell your friends about Easy Nation. All too easy.